If you're looking for an affordable lawnmower that does a great job at auto mapping and also does a really good job at trimming, this is by far the best budget-friendly mower that we've ever tested and reviewed on the channel. Milo came running out here because he's like, what is this guy? I've never seen this one here before. Oh, look at that obstacle avoidance. Milo, you just stopped him, but hey, you did a good job, Landroid. You did a good job not hitting him. So I've got the Worx Landroid all set up. It took about 4 hours for it to update, so keep that in mind before you start mowing. Before I send it out on the auto mapping feature, let's go ahead and start out with a quick walkthrough. To grab it, you want to grab it in the rear. That's going to be the best place. There's not really a handle here, so it's a little bit slippery. Keep that in mind. Some quick things to note is this is the RTK part of it. It uses 4G satellite, so there is no need for an RTK station. Stop button, display, and 4 buttons to control it. It's also pin activated, so if you ever do turn it on or off, or if it gets picked up, you're gonna have to re-enter the pin. In addition to that, there's a security feature that if it ever leaves your yard, it'll notify you and you'll be able to track it for 7 days using 4G satellites. That's completely free for the lifetime of the mower. Another really cool feature is it's a removable battery. The only time I've ever seen a quick removable battery is on the other Worx lawnmower. This one is really sweet because you can hot swap it out and use it in over 200 different power tools that Worx offers. There's also a rain sensor to detect when it rains, and then it'll return back to the base. In the front, you have front-facing cameras, and they call this their V-Slam technology. This is used to 3D map out your yard, and then what happens is that if the satellites ever fell, it uses a 3D rendering of your yard, detects the landmarks, and can actually continue mowing without needing satellite connection. So it's a very sweet feature. And I've had the opportunity to test that out with their 4-wheel drive version, and I'm excited to see if it's gonna work out in their 2-wheel drive version. Charge port in the front. And one thing that I've noticed on this Worx Landroid is there is no front bumper. I think this is the only lawnmower that we've ever tested and reviewed on the channel without a front bumper. So we'll see how it does in detecting things and then bouncing off of them. And then you'll see on this side, there's a 1, 2, and 3. That's for their use of the cut to zero technology. And what that cut to zero technology does is it allows it to come up to the edges a lot closer, has its own separate trimming blade, and you can also adjust the height on it. And then looking at the bottom, you have motors in each of these front wheels, these little caster wheels in the back, a single rotating disc with 3 blades inside of it. And then here's a cut to zero blade. This has 2 blades and, like I said earlier, has adjustable height. Pretty straightforward design, but let's see if the auto mapping feature can work. Good job, identified the doggy. So from the auto mapping and doing about 50% of the yard, it's having to go back now and recharge. Keep that in mind that this isn't going to be a super fast mower where it's gonna do it all in one charge. Due to the removable battery, it's a little bit smaller than some of the other mowers that we've reviewed in the past. But the nice thing is you can hot swap the battery out if you're trying to speed up the process, or you can just wait for it to recharge, which it recharges in about 35 to 40 minutes from empty to full. So I am really impressed with the cut to zero technology, which is their smart edge and the smart trim technology. And as you can see, it's done a fairly good job compared to the previous robot mower on the edges. It's not perfect, but I think it has a lot to do with me needing to trim ahead of time just so it can know where it can go. Over in some of these areas that it's not getting super close to the edges, like right here, I think it's just due to the grass is taller than the cement and it's thinking it's part of the border. So I'm gonna do a trim job, get a nice cut on these edges, and see how this does over the next week. Is it gonna be able to maintain that edge after I cut it? Or is there gonna be some overgrowth? So this is gonna be the real test for the cut to zero technology. Can it do a good job of maintaining your lawn after you do a really good trim job? And more importantly, will it create a nice checkerboard pattern back here? Let's find out in a week.
2 weeks later.
How many of you guys have ever come back from vacation to a lawn that's just overgrown and looks disgusting? But look at this lawn right here. This is incredible. All thanks to the Worx Landroid Vision Cloud, and it's sitting right here. I mean, the only imperfection in my lawn is this little area. If you have any tips or reasons why this area looks dead, let me know. The Worx has been doing a phenomenal job. I've loved it. I mean, look at the grass. My grass just looks amazing. I mean, you buy one of these things and it'll make a lawn that'll make you happy. It makes me happy to look at this lawn. So I'll tell you what I love about it. Really great at just mowing. Every day it's just been mowing.
cutting a little bit off the top. Even though we're in drought restrictions, only watering twice a week, the grass still looks great because we're not stressing the grass so much. We're just taking a little bit off the top and it just mulches. The clippings go back into the ground. It helps to keep that moisture locked into the ground. And so hopefully if I'm having this guy mow every day or every few days, we'll continue to have great results. Other thing that I love, the trimming. The edges look great and not perfect though, okay? So it does have that cut to zero. So it does cut really close to the edges, but not exactly to the edge. So you can see a little bit has been left. This though is easy. You just take your trimmer, you just trim through this. It's one pass. With previous versions, previous mowers, it usually leaves like a swath of uncut grass about 6 to 7 inches. It took a lot longer to trim that. With this Worx mower, you're not going to eliminate the need to trim, but the trimming duty is going to be a lot quicker, a lot easier.
When I first came and set this up, there was a lot of spots that were actually sticking up. And what I wanted to really talk about is going over the other edges besides a concrete like step up. These edges over here has done beyond a phenomenal job. This is gonna take very little trimming. As you can see, it's come up. There's only maybe like a ½ inch strip around some of the edges, but in some parts you don't even need to trim it all. And one thing I've seen this robot do that I haven't seen from other robot mowers is it kind of pivots its end. The cut to zero technology is on the rear right of the mower. And what I'll see it do is if it goes by an area where it finds the grass is a little bit taller, it'll kind of do this little shimmy. It's almost like a dance that it does. And I've never seen another robot mower do it. And then the other cool technology is it uses smart edge and smart trim technology to grow the map out. So when I did the first auto mapping, it was about 6 to 7 inches from the walls. I was really wondering if that was going to impact the long-term use, if it was gonna leave about a 7-inch strip everywhere. But what I've seen on the map is that it's grown, it's defined the edges even better.
From all the mowers that we've tested, I've never had one that did a good job with auto mapping. It's always left it so that I've had to go back and just remapped it myself. And this is probably one of the best auto mapping jobs. I will say though that my backyard is pretty simple in terms of if you were to do an auto map, this is the ideal situation. You want to make sure that you don't have a lot of obstacles. You want to make sure you don't have big trees or structures blocking any type of signal. The things that I love best about it, we just set it, we forget it, and it leaves great results.
The app is simple to use and very intuitive. Nice clean pictures to go through, easy settings, but there is some downsides to that and I'll talk about that shortly. I do love that the blade on the cut to zero is adjustable from 3 different heights. So you can either keep it level with the edges or you can have this nice tapered look, which I prefer the tapered look where it comes down a little bit towards the edges, similar to what you do with hand trimming. And one of the best parts about the Worx Landroid Vision Cloud is going to be the price point. It only comes in at $11.99. For a non-4-wheel drive version of a robot mower, that's about the similar price that they offer them in, but this one has the cut to zero technology, which we don't see on the entry-level mowers, and it also has the simplicity of a good auto mapping feature, which we haven't had work on even the expensive mowers.
What Worx has done here is they've simplified the whole process with setting up, operating, and owning a robot lawnmower. The biggest problem with these guys is finding where to put it. With previous mowers in the past, you couldn't put it too close to your home because it would block the signal. You couldn't put it too far away from your home because you wouldn't have outlets. You wouldn't have a place to get power. In this case, you don't have to worry about that. With no RTK station that you to worry about trying to find a signal, this has the RTK Cloud based system. You can put it as close as you want to your home, or you can put it as far away from your home as you want. In this case, we're pretty far away from the home. It's a unique system here where I actually have solar power charging this, but you can put this wherever you want in your yard as long as you're able to connect to your Wi-Fi system. The other thing is the auto mapping actually works, which is great. So 2 of the biggest pain points with these robot mowers, the mapping, the finding a correct location to place it, all simplified with this unit.
So let me show you a cool safety feature about the Landroid. You'll see here it's beeping when you lift it up, and it won't allow the robot mower to be used anywhere else unless you have the pin for it. Another cool feature is that you can adjust the distance that you want it to alert you. So if it ever leaves like over 18 feet from your household, it's going to send you a push notification that the robot has left. It's also going to have backup power that if the battery is removed, to tell you exactly where it is for the next 7 days using 4G cell phone servicing. Some companies offer this with their other robot mowers, but they're going to charge you over time. The Worx Landroid Vision is going going to come with that servicing for free for the lifetime of your mower, and they're not going to nickel and dime you with a subscription fee in the future. The battery works in their lawn and garden division from their blowers, trimmers, and edgers, and it even works on their power tools from their hand saws, chainsaws, and drills. What I love about this mower is that it has V-Slam technology. Pretty much all the mowers in 2026 that we've seen come out have added LiDAR, where the Worx came out with their 2026 model and didn't add LiDAR. So I was wondering, is this going to perform as well as the other mowers? But I found that they've done an excellent job, and I think it has a lot to do with the V-Slam technology.
And so we can talk about things that I feel like it can improve. It did get stuck a couple times trying to come up this concrete edging, and I think it's because either it rained or snowed or sprinklers or something that caused it to slip, but this was one of the issues. Second issue, the lines that it doesn't make the nice thick wide lines. So if you like thick wide lines, this isn't it. This just has one disc on the bottom with several blades, and so you get nice, really narrow lines. So it just depends on your preference. Do you like them thick, or do you like them nice and skinny? And this might be in the software that they can update, but you could see the path that it always takes to go back. If they could alter the path that it takes to return back to the charging station, that would be great, just to take some of the stress off of this grass. What don't you like about it?
There's no real handle on here. The best spot is in the rear, but you're gonna get your hands all dirty and green right there, just like that, because there's no good handle for this robot mower. And then the other thing is there's no front bumper, which I haven't had any issues with this, but I like the extra security feature that if it has a front bumper and it bumps into something it's not supposed to, it'll automatically stop the mower. There's a few things that I wish that they could improve on the app, and I think they could be done through firmware update. Number one would be adding an extra user. So I set this mower up, I set it up underneath my account, but right now I'd like to add Jimmy on as his own account so he can control the robot if it ever happens to get stuck, but there's no ability to do that. Another thing would be pausing and stopping what task it's currently in. So pretty much on all the mowers that I've tested, I can always pause the task and I can cancel that task. On the Worx Landroid, if I send it out to do a task and I stop it in the middle of it, I can't just go ahead and start a new task. I have to wait for that task to finish up before I can start a new task. So I wish they could just add these simply into there through a firmware update.
This robot has really freed me up. I do not have to mow back here at all. I love it that come home from vacation, the lawn looks great. We had a gathering the other day and bunch of family, bunch of friends, bunch of little kids, and they just all loved rolling around this lawn. They love playing in this grass. My lawn looks amazing. It's taken me almost zero work, and I have to say, thank you.
So who should buy the Worx Landroid Vision Cloud? Well, it's a simple answer for me. If you're looking for an affordable lawnmower that does a great job at auto mapping and also does a really good job at trimming, this is by far the best budget-friendly mower that we've ever tested and reviewed on the channel. You can see our full written review at freshlycharged.com, where you can also compare it against other robot mowers. And if you found this video informative, give it a thumbs up and make sure to stay freshly charged.